Got it. Setting up your meeting for YouTube Live. And done. Redirecting the YouTube. And are we on? Okay. Setting up your meeting for YouTube Live. And done. Redirecting the YouTube. Okay. For some reason they cannot see you. Can you hear me?
I hear you. Who cannot see you?
Yeah.
So what's the topic for today, by the way?
HDB. HDB cooling measures.
Oh,
how do I get you in now?
How do you get me in?
Yeah.
To get into your YouTube, right, Sifu?
Yes.
You just to link the Zoom, right, to the YouTube. So
I already linked. I just don't know how to get you in.
Get me in. Oh, okay. I only tried once. That was last year with you. Ever since, I haven't done anything like that.
Wait. Let me try again. Okay.
So do you need my email? I don't think you need my email, right? You just.
I already invited you in, but you're just watching it. I think at this juncture. Okay. Hi. Hi. Okay. Guys, can you all see? Oh yeah, they can see you.
They can see me.
They can see you. They can see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can see you. Okay, they can see you. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. All right. Good evening, everybody. Okay. So, sorry. Mr. Lu is a bit primitive when it comes to linking Zoom and YouTube. So I gotta ask for apology. I don't quite exactly know how to do this very well. And for those people who are wondering why am I wearing a hat, I will tell you all in a short while. But today we're very pleased to have a very last minute invitation guest speaker, Dragon Tan, who yesterday at 1 a.m. or 12:30, 1 a.m. told me the news of this cooling measure. And of course, I would have gone earlier, but today I have a procedure to do, which is why I'm wearing a hat. I'll talk about it in a short while. But I thought it's important for us to get some expert opinion and on-the-ground opinion of the cooling measure, but more importantly, the implication to all of us, okay? And I will encourage everybody to ask questions. The only problem right now is I need to pull out another screen for YouTube so that I can see your questions, if you don't mind. So everybody just remember to do the usual thing. Dragon, you mind telling the people what's the usual thing?
What's my usual thing now?
What's the usual thing that we always ask people to do on YouTube?
Please like, share, and subscribe. Don't be meow. I can't see I can't turn on my YouTube now because I don't want to the conflict of the voices here and there. I don't know how many people are on your channel right now. Lots of 300, 400.
I can't see at this juncture. Just give me a minute.
Do support Mr. Lu channel.
Yes, it's on now, and we have. Oh wow! Wait. Live chat is on, and I cannot see how many people are there, but I know there's a lot of people. Okay. Okay. You know what, guys? Oh yeah.
Around 200 pets over here. I can see that there are around 200 pets. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay. You good. Okay. Shiny face. Mr. Lu promoting SK2 now. Oh wow. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. Mr. Lu has gotten a lot hiao in this Korean trip. And I wanted to do a bit of gossip first, and then we start on the serious stuff. How about that? Okay. Okay. Wait. Oh God. Okay. And yes. Right. Now I can see. Damn. Okay, now I can. Oh damn! I just off my. Okay, good. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, just a bit of gossip. Mr. Lu has gotten a lot more hiao in this Korean trip. So not only did I do a lot of facial products, which actually they are quite amazing. I can see that on my face. But I met a friend who met a friend who was with me in Stanford University, and he actually has a friend who is the top hair implant surgeon in Korea, and he says that Lu, no, come on, man, I know this guy. Why don't you do it? And then B give me a push. My friend give me a push, and then I just dropped down. So yeah, so I'm actually just finished my procedure today. Yes, I would have started this live earlier, but however, because I was in the operating theater, so it was a 7-hour operation. So the minute I finish, I come back hotel, I live. So thanks, Dragon, for such last minute activation, and I'm really grateful to you. Okay. Everybody, please give this video a like so that we can get the engine going, so that more people watch. These cooling measures affect a huge proportion of Singaporean because it is targeted at HDB. Okay, previous cooling measures were all focused on private property. Then the government realized that this is the root of all problem. So now they have changed gear to whack HDB, therefore it affects all of us. So all of us, please give Mr. Dragantine a round of applause, okay? By like, okay? Yeah. Maybe let Dragon before. Sorry, I want to say one thing. Some of you all have the usual skeptics, saying that, oh, Mr. Dragontan is vested interest, all this. Okay, this one I put my reputation online. He's very, very impartial, objective. Okay, he's not here to sell your house. So some people who thinks otherwise, please hold back some of your comments. Second is that he knows what's happening on the ground. That's why I invite him here. And he's a trusted friend, therefore I think he's very objective about it. So anyway, that's over to you. Okay, so one quick question first. Maybe you can describe in a breath what are the 3 measures that the government just launched yesterday at midnight.
As a general, just to summarize the 3 measure, okay, over here. So typically, I just want to make it very, very simple on the 3 measure, because I summarize everything here. So typically, that's number 1. Any private property owner, whether you're holding on to a resale EC or resale condo, should you have plans or you have already so-called engaged your agent to market your condo or your EC, and then you have this so-called a retirement plan to go from a condo or EC to the HDB, probably you have to wait out for the next 15 months upon the sales of your condo or EC. So this is the latest measure coming. It depends on your age as well. If you're 55 years old and above, of course, you have some exception here. You can only go for 4-room flat or smaller units. For the rest, who are of the younger age, so-called condominium and EC seller, you have to wait up for 15 months. And this 15 months, it may not be enough, because from what I forecast, probably it will take you 20 months to 24th month, because it's only upon the 15-month mark, only then you can buy a resale HDB. And not to forget, these days the HDB take 3 to 4 months to complete. Many of the HDB sellers need at least around 2 to 3 months extension, because they are doing back-to-back as well. And then once you took over the HDB, at the end of the extension, you need to have another 2 to 3 months for your own renovation, because you're buying a resale HDB. So most of the landed or private property condo downgrader, they want to cash out, because I believe that they have made a good profit out from their current existing private property. And typically Singaporeans are pampered these days. When you have cash, you want to enjoy, you do an overhaul. So they don't mind spending 100 plus K. So all this thing probably will take around 24 months. So actually it's not about 15 months. And they probably, when they sell their private property, they will have to be prepared to rent for the next 24 months. Yeah, before they can move into their HDB actually. So that's number one. Number two, of course, in the HDB loan itself, the government did some changes here. Is where the loan to value, all right, for the HDB loan, okay, loan to value for all buyers who are eligible to buy HDB, the loan used to be 90%. However, last year in December, there was some changes. During the measure last year in December, there was a reduction of the HDB loan from 90% to 85%. All right. So this time around, as of late last night, 12 midnight. These days it's 12 midnight now, 2359 or 12 midnight, where the MND or MAS, they will announce this measure. This HDB loan LTV was further reduced from 95% to 90%. Sorry, 85% to 80%. Meaning any HDB, the buyer who on HDB loan have to fork out extra down payment. It used to be 15% down payment. Now it's probably around 20%. Oh no, it's not probably, it's 20% down payment. All right. So this is how the government curbed the measure. And of course, am I happy about it? So honestly, I was preparing to get myself asleep yesterday around 11 plus 12 midnight. When I keep hearing my phone start to have a lot of messages, those alert bell ring sound. And then when I read this news, initially I was thinking, yeah, probably I only have 2 sellers in my portfolio. Currently, I have around 18 listings for sales, whether it's a condo or HDB. And suddenly I realized that by this morning, when I wake up, my mind get clearer. I realized that not only 2 of my listings, my condo and EC seller are affected. In total, I have 6 sellers who are affected by this measure.
Wow, Piang. That's quite a lot, man.
Yeah, so the question is that, are they decided to move forward to sell their property and probably they plan to rent for the next 24 months? That's question number 1. Or probably they put on hold first. Okay, and they don't mind to wait until 55 years old, which is probably 10 years later, 5 years later. And then a lot of uncertainty, can come along the way, more measure coming. So this is what I realized this morning. At first, I was initially, because this morning I was celebrating birthday for my boy in his nursery school. So my wife started to remind me, I think your good friend, Norman is selling. So, oh yeah, correct. I think your cousin staying in Jurong, he's also selling his condo. He want to buy HDB. And I started to realize that not only 2 listings are affected, 1 by 1, in total 6 condominium and EC are affected. All right.
See.
So today itself, I received a lot of messages coming in and a lot of phone calls from morning until as late as 10 plus just now, before I start this Zoom with you, Mr. Lu. Okay. So typically, I'm a forward-looking person. For everyone, normally people who know me well, right? Typically, I always say, yeah, chill, all right? Everything will be good, all right?
Okay, I'll ask you the question on impact later. What about the last measure, which is a TDSR from 4 to 3.5, from 3.5 to 4%?
Okay, the last one is what I've been talking about. I think back then, Mr. Luke, at your place in Jurong, I was mentioning TDSR, which was introduced in 2013, okay, has been using the formula based on a mortgage rate of 3.5%. And with the interest rate going up, probably this 3.5% is going to be irrelevant anymore. So what happened is that the MAS actually so-called tweaked the formula a bit from 3.5 to 4% to compute the loan, the mortgage loan for residential purchase. It's not commercial. Commercial is another. Commercial is even higher, up to 5%. All right. So basically, they are adjusting. So question is coming forward. If the US interest hike keep increasing, all right. Typically, I foresee that along the way, this TDSR formula, they have to review and restructure from time to time. Eventually, probably they'll use 4.5, they'll use 5%. So I can feel that it's quite a gradual increase rather than they use 5% at one shot. this will cause some shake to the ground itself.
Okay.
So these are the three major things that probably it's been so-called three general guideline or measures that was introduced late last night. And it's here. I've been waiting for this moment.
Okay, we've always said that the government is likely to come down with some cooling measures, and it's here. It's no surprise. We talked about it the last time. In fact, just less than a month ago, we really talked about it. So all these three measures, which is on the ground, that you feel is the most impactful one in cooling the property inflation?
I just be blunt here. Since Mr. Lu, I always been very blunt and upfront with Mr. Lu. I think that probably is measure number one for private property owner who wish to downgrade, or probably they wish to cash out from their current existing private property, whether is it landed, all right, and they want to buy somewhere in those higher quantum HDB that's 1 over million, loft unit that was in Punggol recently for 1.2 million. Typically, who are the people who can afford to buy this subsoil anytime? This will be the landed and probably the private property owner, all right, who break the record high. One transaction after another transaction. These are the people who bought jumbo. Remember, there's an Yishun ground floor unit that's jumbo. I don't know who the buyer is, but for a buyer who love to buy and enjoy something that is jumbo, typically the demographic profile will match those people who are of landed owner or landed downgrader who rack size from landed somewhere to probably a jumbo ground floor, because they're so used to having a gardening outside, or probably they used to enjoy staying in a patio unit in the condo, big balcony, doing their own gardening. So these are the groups of people. For the first timer, to ask them who are in their early 20s, to ask them to fork out or probably to pay 1 million for HDB is quite uncommon. It's quite uncommon. So I doubt that there will be the group of buyer for this segment. Correct.
Yeah. So actually, all those $1 million HDB transaction, most of them are 做排行情 by all this big property sale, right? And then they come down and crash the market. In fact, I'm quite I don't know how to feel. On one hand, I'm upset that my masonette haven't crossed 1 million yet. I was hoping to see that 1 million mark, but I haven't seen it. It's not because it's not worth 1 million, but there's just no transaction. Nobody's selling, right? But nevertheless, but now I'm also happy that the property prices are so cooled down, because we also want our kids to be able to afford. But clearly this one, in your opinion, is the one that's most impactful. But don't you think it only affects only the top layer of the HDBs?
Okay. Now we don't have the statistic. Who are the buyers who bought 1 million, 1 over million? Now this is based on my assumption. Now only HDB has the statistic. They will know when it comes to HDB appointment and the completion, who are the buyers who break the record? Definitely is HDB. They will have the statistic, and that's why, because of that, they come with this measure for the private property owner to hold out for 15 months. So it makes a lot of sense over here. That's for sure. So what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? Will the HDB prices crash? Is this what you want me to answer?
Well, what's the impact from your opinion?
No, typically, I feel that for places like, I don't mention town, the higher quantum, I put it in a way, the higher quantum HDB, they're right now asking for probably around more than 1 million plus, as well as 800-900K. They will face a slower growth, because this measure is out here to cool this HDB. Yes. So you'll see lesser transaction of HDB, they'll break 1 million. Like for the past few months, you heard of big places like Pasir Ris, Hougang, Yishun, that break 1 million. So I guess coming for the next 2 quarters, and because we're coming to December very soon, and December and January, right, they're always where the volume will start to drop drastically, not because the market is no good, it's because it's the festive period. So for most of the trade, for people who are doing trading, who are doing oil and gas, we know and we knew all along it's a traditional thing, it's a seasonal thing. business activity will slow down during this period of time. So I expect a lot of transactions will start to slow down during this period. For the next 2 quarters, I will not find a lot of transactions that will hit 1 million. Probably, yes, there are still buyers who probably buy. It can be the PR as well. Because let's not forget, this measure is directly impact on those private property owner or private property downgrader who can be from landed, selling their landed for 4-5 million, going to HDB 1 million. It's nothing to them. All right, it's nothing to them. But it has no direct impact on PR. So I guess that the government will also want to wait out and see, how will the market movement be over the next 2 quarters to 3 quarters. If the prices or the index continue to climb higher, probably the next measure can be on the PR as well.
Yeah.
Can be on PR. We don't know. But of course, currently right now, the PR are buying. So now what does this mean? Because I mentioned that the measure is very harsh on the private property owner. Because I'm supposed to have an open house tomorrow, 5 groups. And out of 5 groups, right, it's a 5-room flat in Punggol itself. Out of 5 groups, 3 groups are actually condo private property downgraded. So 3 groups have to cancel tomorrow. So only left with 2 groups tomorrow. So this is what I'm facing right now on the ground. All right. How will be the impact like? Of course, we have lesser viewer, so less competition. With the price dip, I think the price was softened.
I see.
It's not like the beginning of the year, you see the price keep on going up. Because right now, actually, of the private property owners or for the HDB downgraders, they are actually filtered off from the market. So right now, we are left with the first timer. We are left with the genuine Singaporean who want to upgrade probably from 3-4 room to 5 room or to EAEM, as well as the PR buyer who have fulfilled their status for the last 3 years. So you still have these 3 group of people. Not too bad. If yesterday or last night, government has some measure on PR, I think that probably this is the end game. For all sellers. But I think still not too bad. Still not too bad. They're doing step by step. And because a lot of the private property owner, they have to make decision whether to move forward. If they're really moving forward, they have to find a place to rent for the next 24 months. And at a time like this, when the renter is facing a serious, severe shortage, probably is adding stress to the rental market. So this is how I foresee in the upcoming 2 to 3 quarters.
Yeah, but most of the private property owner, if they know that, I'm very sure that they know that the rental market is actually very red hot right now, and they know that there's this measure. Very simply, they won't sell, right? They won't sell, and which also means that they won't buy the HDB, okay? And that basically will have a cooling off effect. What we don't know at this juncture is how big the impact will be, but I think from what you say is there will be some cooling effect, which commonsensically, yes.
Probably there'll be a big portion, because just now I was mentioning I have 6 listing. All right, these are the 6 condo and EC owner. All right, I myself. So how about the rest? I don't know. Probably there are much more or many more other condo and EC seller, but in the market who are planning to go for HDB. I'm pretty sure of it, because this is the time when they want to cash out as well for retirement now. So probably there'll be a big portion of them who want to hold on first. So having said that, right now we are facing a shortage of listing in the market. We don't have a lot of listing in the market, meaning that the supply in the resale condo and the resale EC is not a lot. If let's say lesser people put out, they hold on and they want to wait out and see. We have lesser listing in the market for the resale condo and the resale EC. However, the demand, for the Singaporean, the HDB upgrader, aspiration to upgrade is there. It may cause another supply and demand issue. The price for the resale condo and the resale EC may even go higher. Because there are lesser supply right now in the market. Every seller start to feel that probably some sellers are not comfortable with renting for 2 years. There are many sorts of people with different planning. All right. So probably half the listing is lesser in the market, it may create a shortage again. And when everybody know when there's always a shortage and when the demand is there to upgrade, despite the interest going up, it may even cause a price increase on the condo and resale EC side. At about the same time, probably the pricing for the higher quantum HDB, those around 800K, 900K region may even go softer. So this I foresee.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be that that the HDB sellers, if they so for HDB upgraders, if they can't sell their HDB at a huge price, because it's a chicken egg, the private condo downgraders cannot pay them this huge amount. Therefore, the HDB upgraders cannot don't have this kind of big cash or big profits to buy the condo. So actually, at the condo and EC side is quite convoluted, right? We're not quite sure what's the impact. Although I'm in opinion that the government, I think, they probably have more statistics than we have to calculate the net effect. And I'm in the opinion that they calculate net effect and probably make a judgment that will be either neutral or cooling to the condo as well. But for sure, on the HDB side, on the premium, I mean for the large HDB and the premium HDB, the cooling effect is definitely there.
Yes. I think, Sifu, you remember last round when you are asking me how would the cooling measure be? Is it on condo, landed, or is it on HDB? So basically, my answer, my straight answer to you is, or to many others people who have heard our sharing before, to cool the overall market, you just cool HDB, 搞了, enough already. Because typically, who are the potential upgrader for condo as well as EC? This will be the HDB upgrader. So you just cool the HDB. That's number one. All right. Now, number two, how does it affect the landed as well? Because people who actually are the owners of EC and condo in the mass market, these are the potential upgrader for the condos in the city fringe. Typically, this is how it goes. Most of the I would say that Sengkang, Punggol, Tampines, the outskirt, OCR is always the outskirt is always kampong. So the kampong love to stay in city fringe. So the next upgrade is to city fringe condo. And then you free up the city fringe condominium seller to go for landed. Of course, we have cases where the kampong mass market condominium and EC owner, they went straight to buy landed. I have encountered a few as well. Now, but everything, the base is always originate from where? HDB upgrader. So HDB form the base, okay, for the overall flow and overall operating process to take place.
Correct. So I'm in opinion that the HDB side will have some massive cooling at the premium side, and it's probably will have some flow over effect on softening the demand for condo, right? So maybe let's quickly move on to the other two measures, which is more subtle, okay, which is more subtle and a bit more mathematical in some sense also, okay. What do you think of these two measures? How impactful are they? Does it really, from your experience, does it really affect demand at maybe the non-premium tier?
Okay, how does it affect? So before I'm talking about before I cover on the next two measure, probably I just share with you guys what has happened in the past. Because I passed my license since in 2002. Ever since then, for the last 20 years, I love to study the trend in the property market. Now, the last 2 years, the overall trend, I talk about HDB for now. The HDB has seen a massive growth. I'm not talking about index, I'm talking about overall. So overall, the pricing in most of the area has went up by 20-25%. And even for this year, after the Chinese New Year, the prices for the HDB are still growing, even stronger. And why am I so confident? Because I'm always on the ground. And the last 2 months, I closed quite a number of HDB, and all the prices are still record higher than the previous month transaction. So you are
the one that keep breaking all the HDB record.
No, it's not breaking the HDB record. It's just that I have a duty and role to play as well when my seller engage me. So of
Of course, that's your job. Yeah.
one day, Mr. Lu, if you aim for 1.2 million for your mezzanine, I have to deliver that as well.
No. After I sell, I got nowhere to stay.
Okay, so now this whole thing it actually replicate or it really remind me of what happened back in 2010 to 2012. Probably guys, you all still remember what happened 12 years ago, because I find that Singaporean has a very I would say poor probably the memory is fading.
Myopic.
Okay, I always remember because back then in 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, that 3 years, all right, I cannot remember the name of the previous MND. I only remember Kowloon 1, that's after that, all right? There wasn't any property.
Lim Heng Kiang.
No, Mr. Ma.
Oh, okay, yeah, Mr. Ma. Okay, Ma Bao Tan, yes.
In place 2009, 2010, until 2010, the prices of HDB went up skyrocket high. Every open house, we have 20 pair of shoes outside. People going for close bidding. And this is what happened recently. I have 2 open houses over the last few weeks. It's all close bidding. One open house, 3 to 4 groups, or probably 2 groups, they come for the close bidding. So this reminds me of what happened back. And then what happened if the HDB is not, okay, it's not it is my personal opinion. Because back then, a lot of young Singaporeans are very unhappy because I was young once. And there's a time where I want to buy my HDB back then. I was so unhappy because the price went up escalating high. So everybody remember what happened during the GE in 2011? Yep. What happened to our GRC?
One GRC was lost.
What happened to our dear minister, Mr. George Yeo? He was a wonderful man. I love him. Yeah. So I think that it's good that the government introduced measure like this. So really hope that through sharing in this YouTube, the young Singaporean can really appreciate what the government has been doing. They're helping you to the young Singaporean. This measure is important. All right. Of course, for the owner who are probably the high quantum HDB owner, 1 million, or probably the private property owner, now feel a bit sian. But I think that we have to really think long term. Of course, for some of the agents, they feel very sian. Or many agents, they feel very sian. Suddenly this measure, a lot of things need to re-strategize and a lot of review going on. But this is to plan for our next generation.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah. So I think I've said this before. Let's not cheer when the property prices go up, because our kids won't be able to afford it. So unless you own multiple property, your kid's going to have lots of problem, affording this property. Yeah. So anyway, back to you. Let's talk about that very quickly on that 2 measures, the TDSR and the TDSR, and the other one is from 85 to 80%.
Okay.
How impactful it is?
Now, okay, for buyers who are buying HDB using bank loan, correct? I'm talking about bank loan, not HDB loan. The LTV is 75% loan to value. So right now, the buyers who are buying the resale HDB using HDB loan, the LTV is 80%. All right. So meaning that 20% is via CPF. All right. They can utilize their CPF to pay for it. Now, typically depending on the age of Singaporean and depending on their profession, and these days government has a lot of grant to subsidize the Singaporean for their purchase. So the couples is of certain age and they've been working in the society for a considerable number of years. Both couple, not one. One, of course, a sole breadwinner, a bit strong but if you have 2, for a couple to have 100+ K, including their grant, proximity grant, first timer grant, enhanced housing grant, I believe is enough to cushion for this this down payment itself. All right. Yeah, 20%. Not too bad. Cash is here. And where else can you find in a country where the government really subsidizes you with so much attractive housing grant? You name a country for me, you name a country. And Singapore is so stable over here. The whole world is in a mess right now, Mr. Lu. The whole is a mess. At least Singapore is still in quite a comfortable and stable environment. So I guess that the impactful is not that impactful unless a drastic measure came in. The LTV is from 85% drastically they reduced to 60% or 50%. What some of the country did before, like China, then this would be a very heavy problem, because assuming that you're buying something that is 500K, you need to have 250K of down payment and 250K of loan. So this will create some issue. But I think that we're still quite stable in a sense. I believe that a lot of Singaporean, or most of Singaporean, can afford according to your income and according to the flat type. So it depends on how ambitious you are. Because I have met some buyers who probably are in this salary cap, but they're aiming for the sky. So for that, probably I don't know how to help and advise. But typically, I guess that what government has planned and for the Singaporean is within the affordability range. All right. So a lot of safety net, layer by layer, are already planned. Now, the third one, for the TDSR, the formula was tweaked from 3.5 to 4%. Probably in terms of loan differences for the same income, probably you're going to see probably less than hover around 5%. I haven't do an actual calculation, but I feel that the impact is not going to be very impactful. It's just that they're trying to meet they're trying to restructure the whole formula and tweak the formula so that overall it looked relevant to today's mortgage loan interest at 3%. And of course, the 4% formula is for the TDSR is a safety net for the Singaporean and for any purchaser in Singapore. All right. So this is my personal opinion here, which I feel at this moment it's not going to have adverse impactful effect, because again, I repeat, back in 2013, when the TDSR was formulated by the MAS, it was based on 3.5%. The government in Singapore has already prepared us over the last 9 years for today, when the interest rate is going up. So I mentioned in the previous video, anything that is 3 to 4%, very tight. All right, very tight. But probably 5 to 7%, I don't have a crystal ball, I cannot tell.
Okay.
All right. So
all right.
My personal opinion as of all the 3 measures.
Okay, good. So I think the heavier of let's consider these 3 hammers. Okay, the closer to a sledgehammer is the one that is the 15-month measure. The TDSR and the loan quantum, the one is a small little hammer. Okay, not too big. I feel that the government really is not trying to crash the entire market. They're just trying to do a bit of a chiseling, a little bit of chiseling, not trying to just slam it down. So I think that we probably don't need to overreact on this one, but clearly it really affects a certain segment of heavy disruptors. We are calling, they are the condo downgraders, okay, or landed property downgraders, or private property downgraders. These people actually came down and spoiled the market quite a lot. But I think that the government haven't dealt with enough problem. The other problem that we mentioned, which is because the rental has went up, the PRs are now forced to buy. That segment, if you don't cool it down, probably will still have an uplifting effect on HDB. So I don't think the government is dumb. They probably know that. They probably just wait and see whether they need to do. I don't think we at this juncture need to do a slam dunk on the entire market. So I think we probably don't need to overreact on this. Maybe we open up this time, Dragon, for our viewers to give questions. But before that, please guys give a like and click subscribe and alert bell. Okay. And I'll quickly take this chance for Dragon Tan to answer some of your questions. I'm happy to take some questions as well. Anyone can fire away on YouTube, just go ahead, okay? I can read all your questions right now. Okay. Anyone who is wondering why am I wearing a hat? Because today I wear for a hair implant procedure. So for some of you who don't know, I'm in Korea right now. I happen to meet up a friend who is a good friend with the top hair surgeon in Korea, and we got some special rates, and more importantly, my wife and this friend was strongly encouraging me to do it. So, you know what the hell, right? Yeah. So I went for it. Yes. Okay. So for 5-room HDB owners who intend to sell, should they hold and wait?
For the 5-room HDB owner, should they sell? So it depends on their needs. What's their needs? Their needs is to upgrade to condo, or is there immediate needs? Correct. And what are you buying after this?
Okay. Dragon, what's your forecast for resale 2-bedder price moving forward with the cooling measures?
Resale 2-bedroom condo, right?
I assume so. There's no 2-room. Well, there's no 2-room.
Yeah, we have 2-room HDB. Yeah, very small size.
Yeah.
Okay, for resale 2, it depends on who are you targeting. Currently in the market, I see it depends on the area as well. I see a lot of PR coming into the market for the 2-bedroom. For whether is it for rental purpose or for own stay. So this is the trend that I see quite a number of PR coming in. And the rental price for the latest update that I have for probably a 2-bedroom condo or the EC for rent in Sengkang area and Pogo area is easily 3,500. The latest. Early this year was around 2,800 to 3,000. So rental prices is going up.
Okay.
Right. Raw from the ground.
Okay, we'll answer question quickly. If for EC, is it a good time to sell?
EC, whether is it good time to sell? So, okay, it's very simple. What is your objective in selling your EC? Is it to cash out? And what happened after you cash out? Are you going to buy something a private property, or are you going to have a plan, retirement plan? That is, you're going to back to HDB end day after you wait out for the next 15 months. So it really ground back to what's your plan.
Okay. Will there be an impact on resale 4-bedder condo in Ang-Mo-Kio? Sorry, I put Ang-Mo-King. Sorry, Ang-Mo-Kio.
Sorry, the question is that is there an impact on the 4-bedroom condo in Ang-Mo-Kio?
Yeah. So I think let's broaden the question to what do you think is the impact on condos? Although we answered the question just now, but no harm answering again.
Okay, probably I just share my my encountering on the ground and my experiences is that overall the demand for 4-bedroom condo is always strong in demand, because the number and the percentage of supply in any particular development, the percentage is for 4-bedroom probably hover around 15 to 20%. Majority of the units in the condo or probably in the EC are the 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom. So for most of the upgraders these days, they have more children, more kids. All right. So the aspiration for the condo 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom owner to upgrade to 4-bedroom condo is there. That's number one. Number two, even among the HDB upgrader who are 5-room owners of 5-room flat or even 4-room flat, when they are purchasing condo that's within the same location or within the same vicinity, their preferred choice is still a 4-bedroom if they can afford it. Because of the increasing number of family members these days.
Okay, maybe I take one question. Interest keep going up. Any reason why property doesn't crash like 1997-98? Because 1997-98 was the Asia financial crisis. It wasn't caused by interest rate going up. So Asia financial crisis was a different measure. It was huge mega recession across the country. Right now, we don't really have a serious recession yet. Okay, how does this affect those retirees who wish to sell 5-room HDB for a small condo?
Retirees want to buy 5-room HDB for a small condo.
This is a very funny question. Sell 5-room HDB for a small condo. No one will do that, right? Condo
to go for 5-room or selling a condo to go for 4-room. If you're a retiree, probably you're above 55 years old, I think that you can easily sell your condo right now or your EC. You just go for probably a 4-room flat HDB. I think that there's an exemption over here. And it's uncommon for retiree to go from HDB to condominium.
Okay. Just to answer question, JT said, why do you think HDB price will stay flat, not crash? No, I don't think we said that. We said that HDB price at the top layer will soften. Okay, but it will not crash because this is not big a sledgehammer enough. Okay, this is a question by CD Ang. Heard from other property agent that private private resale prices in September 22 has fallen and rental is weakening. Is this true?
Heard from property agents. So
Yeah.
far, from the ground, from my own personal ground, I don't know who has he or she spoken to, but based on my own personal ground, the demand in rental is still relatively strong. I don't see a lot of supply in the market. It's getting crazier. So that's for the rental market. For the sales, I think that for the month of September, you only end as of tonight. So probably the data come next month. I doubt that anybody has any data as of September.
Sure. Okay. Do you see these three measures cascaded to landed property?
Cascaded to landed property either.
Yeah, we affect landed property.
So far, there's no measure on landed property directly, in a way. But typically, that what I see from the measure is to direct at those HDB that has been transacted 1 million over the last few months.
Okay.
So it's directly impacting on those HDB that is probably selling right now 1.2 million, 1.3 million.
Okay. Is there a lot of PRs that go for executive apartments or executive masonettes?
Is there a lot of PR? I don't have the exact statistic, but I know that because of the rental right now, there's easily 3,500 for HDB. For the condo, can be as high as 5,500 for a 3-bedroom condo. These are all is it compelling? Can I say the right word, compelling, or motivating or encouraging them to buy their own condo or probably their own HDB?
Yeah, yeah.
So they rather pay themselves installment than paying rental for the landlord.
Okay. I think there are a lot of questions on this. I'll answer this. Which of the HDB segment is affected most by measure? I think we said it before. The high tier ones, the 5-room, the executive apartments, the executive masonette, like the one I'm saying in, are most affected by it. But you know what? I'm absolutely unfazzled by it. You know, I've said before, we need to cool down HDB. If not, our children cannot afford it. Okay, and we will end up like condo. Sorry, we'll end up Hong Kong, where the youngsters is gonna cry murder that they have no future in the country. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, what's wait? I'm trying to. I'm 35 next year, single. Should I buy MPO flats or resale old flats? What's MPO? Sorry.
I think it's BTO, right? Is it
BTO. I think it's 35 years old, single. You cannot buy BTO.
You can for the smaller 2-room flat.
Oh, you can. Okay, I didn't know that.
But of course, it depends on your chance as well. It's balloting, so probably it can be oversubscribed. So it depends on luck as well when it comes to balloting.
Okay. There's a person asked, how does a property market crash look like? Because he's never seen one, I suppose. But I have seen one before.
I have seen. My family that experienced one. Back then in 1997.
Yeah.
I grew up in a 3-room flat. So what happened is that my dad and my mom bought a corner 3-room flat just right beside our corridor 3-room flat. And then it was under the conversion scheme that we convert into a unit called the Jumbo. Now the in thing is Jumbo, so cheap. So we bought a corner for around 250,000. And then the Asia financial crisis came. Wow, within that 1 year to 1.5 year, that 2 years, I think the price just dipped from 250 was very cheap based on today's value to around 170 to 180,000 just within 2 years. For the private condo, I have a friend who was burned during that time. From 700K, right? That time 700K was very big. I think he bought the unit called Park Oasis in Jurong.
That's Oasis.
So from 700K, it can drop until become 400K. I do remember back then was Asia financial crisis. That's number one. It's not interest rate. Now, number two, there's no property measure in place. But for us, we have property cooling measure in place since 2010 all the way to 2022. As of last night, I think probably it's the 13 or 14 measure. It's like kueh lapis. Mr. Lu always say kueh lapis, right? The layer. So many layers of safety net. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So you're so protected. But despite the fact that you're so protected, so many measures, the price still goes up. It really tells about the overall confidence in Singapore.
So someone asked, what would cause a total property market crash? I will say it from experience. a huge mega recession. Okay, huge mega recession will cost it. Asia financial crisis, 2008 Lehman Brothers, a global financial crisis. These will crash the market really badly.
So for back then, right? Graduates from NUS, NTU, probably their starting pay is around 1,002 or 1,003. I remember during the time, and probably they have a hard time looking for a job for the next 2 to 3 years, right? Probably they're on freelancing or probably some kind of contract job. So that was how bad we've been through that. My generation, for massive unemployment, MNC to leave Singapore, that to create that massive unemployment. And number 3, another indicator is that the rental had to drop.
Yeah. Okay. No, we clearly don't want that kind of measure to happen. But if it does happen, this will crash the entire property market. At that point in time, the last thing you worry about is your own property going down. You'll be worried about jobs. You'll be worried about a lot of things. You know, at that point in time, maybe even CPF will be cut and things like that. So those are big mega crises, which we do have this risk. Not to say we don't have this risk. And right now, with this flock of black swan that's happening right now globally, we seems to have some indication that that kind of thing can happen in this era. Okay, don't say no. We have got how many things are happening? We have got a war in Europe that's happening. We have got interest rate that's non-stop rising. We've got currency crisis right now in so many countries. We have got an energy crisis right now in Europe. We've got China right now in a property bubble that just burst, and a lockdown just happened. Can you see how many mega issues collectively come together? I think we will have this is clear until cannot clear right now that there'll be a mega crisis is brewing. And of course, we have the most jala thing, which is the great inflation. Okay, so I hope that all this collectively will bring down the inflation. And once inflation is over, half the problem is over. Okay, yeah. So anyway, how will this measure help young couples who are trying to get their first property, since it's cooling at the top tier only?
Okay. Excuse me. For the young couple, probably you can try the BTO if you're not in a rush, or you probably can wait up for the few years of waiting time. I mean, BTO makes a lot of sense. Otherwise, you go for your resale near your parents, because you have to prepare a day where you have kids. And most of the young parents, they will love to have support from their parents as well. So you live near your parents, and there's a lot of ground for you when you buy a resale HDB. Much better than during our times. It's only 40K or probably 30K. These days it's probably 80K, this and that. It can be up to 100K, depending on income as well.
Wow. Okay. So this is a very unique thing which you actually talk about it. If the government stopped decoupling, how would that affect the market?
If the government stopped decoupling for private condo owners, there's still a way to do it. It's just that a bit more hassle. They still can sell their condominium or whatever, their EC, sell one and then they buy two respectively. So it's just that a bit leceh lah. Yeah, rather than they just do decoupling straight where one of the party just exit, but right now it's sell one to buy two.
Okay. There is an economics question right now that I'll take. Someone said that Mr. Lu, I'm confused with the issue in UK. How will we affect the world situation? Okay. UK right now is right now focused on UK. It doesn't affect the rest of the world, but the same problem UK is happening in some sense across the world, which is the currency crisis. So a lot of currency are depreciating tremendously against the US dollar, and the US dollar is the major world trading currency. In short, inflation is shooting up. I think inflation in Germany just came out. If I'm not wrong, it's 10.1% or something like that. You know, some mega high inflation. So a fierce depreciating domestic currency causes a ferocious inflation. So that is exactly what's happening across many parts of the world, except the US. This is in favor of US. And I said many times before, the US will come out of this crisis stronger than anybody else. Unfortunately. Okay. Let's go back to property. Okay. What about developers developers now? Should developers stop? When developers stop bidding land sales, would that be indicator of a soft landing?
The measure that came this morning midnight, it does not directly target at developer. So to the developer, the last few new launches are selling very well, and I believe that developer will continue to bid whatever government land sales that's upcoming. So I don't think there'll be the developer will stop bidding land sales. It couldn't be, because the result has proven itself. Lentor Modern, Amor Residences, they are so hot. Take a look at their result.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. First of all, wait, there's another question. Yeah. Okay. So I think let's sum up. We do see these measures in place to chip off some of the overheating in a property. I wouldn't say that this is a sledgehammer from analysis to come down on the property market. So the government clearly is trying to have a measured approach. But clearly, if me and Dragon Tan can think of more measures that the government can do, the government there are smarter than both of us combined, right? So not to say Dragon is not smart now. So they are very smart. They have the statistics. They know what's happening on the ground. They can be armed and ready with more bullets to fly when the market happens. But I don't think they want to cause instability in the market. So just to sum up for everybody, this is a softening, not a crashing measures that's done by the government. So I don't think it's gonna disrupt the property market in a big way. However, if you do form the exact layer, which is the property downgrader or the HDB upgrader at a premium level, you probably will be affected, and you might want to think twice how this will affect you. Okay. Yeah, so with this, I want to bring this session to a close. Thanks everybody for joining us, and thanks Dragon for at a last minute activation. Literally, 1 hour ago I wrote to him and he was driving. He said, "Okay, I'll do for you." But always appreciate him to share with us this kind of on the ground feeling. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Dragon a round of applause. Okay, you can give a round of applause by clapping, by typing a clap, and also remember, give a like in appreciation of him.
We started this Zoom straight after our shower.
Okay, yeah, I just finished my I just finished my operation. I will just show you guys a little bit. Okay, no, you can't see it, but I actually have this bandage on my head, so you can't see much. So just to show you, I'm not house selling. I really have this. And someone said that that's just a joke. Someone said that with less hair, you're more the richer you get. Something like that. My hair in total amount didn't change. It just moved from the back to the front. Okay, so whatever it is, I'm still the same. Yes. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. So thanks everybody for joining in. Thanks everybody for this night show. Just remember, give a like before you go. And thanks Dragon. Okay. Good night everybody.
Okay. Good night everybody.
Okay. Good night everybody. Okay. Good night. Okay. Good night Connie, and good night everybody. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna end it here now. Okay. Thank you. Good night. Good night.